Hey everybody, welcome to Hair of the Dog podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Begley, and I'm super excited for today's conversation. It's not your usual conversation. My guest is not a pet photographer, actually not even a photographer anymore. Started out as a wedding photographer and now is the founder of an incredible photography software company that I absolutely love and I cannot live without in my business. And I think you are going to love it too. But we're not just talking about software because this is the Hair of the Dog podcast. We've got to talk a little bit about the experience and the mindset and the lessons that he learned growing this business. So stay tuned for that. You're going to love it. And you're also going to love learning more about Gavin Wade, the founder of CloudSpot, and what exciting things CloudSpot has coming down the pike. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to the Hair of the Dog podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Begley, and I'm super excited to bring our guest to you guys today. It is none other than Gavin Wade, who is the CEO and founder of CloudSpot, my favorite gallery software. I'm going to do so much more, but we're not going to get to that yet. Gavin, welcome to the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Super stoked to be here. Let's dive in. I'm excited.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So excited. I've been using CloudSpot for at least 2 years. I think it was somewhere near the beginning. And I remember hearing about it because of an integration with Dubsado, which I was using at the time. And I was like, oh man, it'd be great to have everything connected. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's like definitely one of my non-negotiables in my business. So I'm super excited to dive into that. But before we get there, I would love to learn more about you and let our audience know who is Gavin? what is your experience? What's your experience in the photography industry be? Kind of like what's your story?
Oh boy. I'm a dinosaur in the photography space. And so that story goes back, almost 14 years now. Yeah, 14 years now. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, and I were dating for 3 months, and we liked our day jobs. We didn't love them, and we were just frustrated one night over dinner, and I was just like, well, I mean, we're young enough. We could make some dumb mistakes still in life. Like, we're still living at home. What's the worst that can happen? Like, if you could do it all over again, what would you want to do?
Yeah.
And our response was the same thing. It was professional photography. So I was like, you know what? Cool, let's do it. And so, 3 months into dating, remember? So like this is a big leap, no matter how you slice it.
For so many things.
Yeah. And I already knew she was the one, but we needed to do some things before that, get some life stuff set up, right? And one of those things was like, hey, can we actually afford to live outside of our parents' house type of deal? And so we just dove headfirst in, invested our life savings into camera gear. Which I always joke it sounds more glamorous than it was. It was literally just one camera body and one lens each, but that was our life savings. Yeah. And so then we were like, okay, then we need to learn. And so we just soaked up as much info as we could. We went to photo conferences. We got a mentor really early on, which I thought was just absolutely crucial. Mm-hmm. Expensive, but crucial. And within that first year of still us dating, before we were even engaged, we shot 28 weddings. Wow. And then because we were in that age range where all of our friends were getting married, like right out of college. So it was just like, boom, like pipeline of leads. I mean, if you weren't
shooting a wedding that weekend, you were probably at a wedding.
Exactly. So it was just the easiest sell to get our foot in the door. And then, after we got back from our honeymoon, we quit our day jobs and did full-time photography from that point on, shooting between 30, 40, 50 plus weddings a year as a husband and wife duo. And loved it, loved working shoulder to shoulder with my wife and being able to just capture amazing moments in people's lives, like living the dream, right? But we all know there are lots of things on the brochure when you're like, hey, I want to start a photography business that you see, and there's lots of things on the brochure that you don't see. Mm-hmm. A little bit more of that. And so when it came time to deliver these weddings, when the workflow got squeezed, right, when the bottlenecks started to form, that's where I started feeling the pain in my own business, right?
Yeah.
She was amazing. She would edit both weddings that we had that weekend, and they would be done before our next two weddings the following weekend. So it's like, fantastic, amazing. But then the bottleneck was on me to like deliver things out. And at the time, there just wasn't a way to do that was easy, that allowed our brand to be the hero. So like, we had spent all this time, money, and resources in crafting this beautiful experience to book these clients, right? But then after the fact, like, here's Dropbox, like that just didn't feel like a continuous experience for us that we could
oh my
be proud
gosh,
of.
14 years ago, like none of the modern conveniences of websites and hosting, like all of those things, signing contracts. I started my business in 2010. I remember I used to send a contract to clients for them to print out and mail back to me. It was like, what?
Yep. I know, kicking it old school. Yep, that's exactly what we did too.
Like it wasn't that long ago, but in internet, like software development terms, it was a lifetime ago.
Absolute eternity. Yep, exactly. And so we did the whole delivering images on a CD and then on a Blu-ray and then stomping those things with our logo and then USB drives, and like we went through all of the iterations of digital delivery. But the writing was on the wall. Like, there needed to be a more streamlined experience, and there just wasn't. There wasn't one that streamlined our workflow, and there wasn't one that made our brand that hero. Like I said, when the clients came to actually looking at their gallery, ordering prints and products, and downloading them, which was the crux of where the bottleneck was in our business. So again, over dinner, via a frustrated entrepreneurial gripe session, I just said, look, there's just no other way. I said, you know what? How hard could it be? We should totally just build it.
Famous last words.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I think I could build this. I know like what features I would want. I know what would help our workflow. I know what would help our clients' experience. Let's just, let's give it a go. Like I said, how hard could it be? So anyways, fast forward through lots of trials and tribulations, which feel free to ask about any of them. But we spent all of the money that we had and a lot of the money that we
once again,
didn't
all
have.
the life savings.
Oh yeah. We doubled down, right? So spent all the pennies we had and lots of pennies we didn't on getting the beta version of CloudSpot.
When was that? What year was that?
2014, I think. Something like that. Yep. So when the beta went out there, we started getting initial user feedback just from photographer friends and anyone who would just listen and click some buttons is what we did. And so we were off to the races then. And I would say it was really about 3 years later that we started picking up some steam, able to hire, more people to join the team versus just me and like a developer against the world. And started to really just build out something that could help photographers around the world.
Did you have any like software development coding experience, or are you literally just like, I have this idea, let's build it and find someone to help build it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just like, I know what it should look like. I know what it should do, but I have no clue how to make it do that or look like that, So I had to go and find people and hire people way smarter than I was to get this thing off the ground. And it literally took a village of developers and designers. But yeah, and still to this day, I'm still head of product on all things, but thankfully have an amazing team for all the other things.
Yeah, nice. Oh my gosh, I know. None of us can live without a team for sure. Looking back on it, because building a photography business is full of the ups and the downs and the days of like, this is amazing. And then the next day, like, oh my God, what am I thinking? I can't do this. Like sometimes within the same hour. Was building the software company pretty much like that? Was it more extreme, less extreme? Kind of compare the two.
It's a good question. I would say there's a lot of similarities, right? In terms of the journey, in terms of the questions that you have to answer, in terms of the determination that you have to have, and in terms of just showing up, putting in the reps, doing the work, right? And I think that's 90% of any entrepreneurial journey is just showing up and putting in the work. And so, for us, one of the forcing functions on that was like, well, look, we've bet the farm on this puppy, right? We burned our boats on this a long time ago. So, it's either going to get across the line and actually be something, or we're going to have to call mom and dad again and say, hey, guess what? We're back.
We're moving back in.
Yeah. It was really that big of a sink or swim type of moment in the early days when you're self-funding this. And, when cloud computing wasn't exactly as affordable as it is now. And there just weren't as many tools and such to get off the ground. So yeah, absolutely. There were the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and oftentimes only mere minutes separated those things. So yeah.
I just read, I don't know if you've read it, Delivering Happiness, about the founding of Zappos.
I have not. It is on my list, though. I've heard it's great.
It's a great book. But during it, I mean, the CEO, I forget his name, but he just kept on putting like so much. He made money with his first business, and he had this, and he started to fund it, and then he put in more and put more, and they like had to get this business because, it's like shoe delivery and warehousing and so much inventory and so much capital that, I mean, they bet the farm, even like all the money he made from selling the previous company, like taking Zappos down to like the last hour of funding of like, we're either bankrupt or we're making this. And it's just fascinating. I'm just like, holy cow, that is such an incredible bet. And then, but they had this vision of what it could be. So I'm sure that probably, and I think that helps a lot of photographers. They have this why, they have this vision, they know what they want their future to look like, which I think is what you need to hold on to in those moments when you're like, oh my God, what am I doing?
That's right. Yeah. They never said it was going to be this hard, right?
Right. Yeah. So did you have like that bigger why of like, why you wanted to create this experience? Did you have the bigger kind of picture that you were holding on to throughout all those growing pains?
In the early days, it wasn't as refined out as like our why and our mission and things, because it was just me. And at the core of it, at the heart of it, was just, look, I just wanted to help other photographers. Like, I just wanted to help them be successful in their business. I wanted them to be happier using this than what I was stuck with using for so long. And really that was the litmus test for like, should we do this feature? Should we put our time, effort, and resources into this particular way? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just the lens through which we viewed everything, and we still do today, just at a bigger scale. And so, the mission slowly started forming, but not in those early days. It just came down to, hey, can I help as many people as possible?
Yeah, I love it. Well, you certainly are fulfilling in that, because the software is awesome. And I think we should talk about it a little bit. So I guess if you want to give us kind of the elevator pitch of what is CloudSpot, if people out there haven't heard of it, let them know.
Absolutely. So the elevator pitch is really cloud. We say CloudSpot's
pitch. What's your podcast pitch?
All right, here we're gonna see if I can knock it out of the park. Ultimately, the way that we frame it is, CloudSpot is the fastest and easiest way to deliver, share, and sell your work online. So, how we say is like, if the presentation and client experience of your photos is important to you, then CloudSpot really is going to be a great fit. Yeah. And we layer on top of that, sales like prints, products, cards, albums, things of that nature, which we know your clients are ordering and purchasing anyway, so they might as well purchase it from you. And it should be a streamlined experience such that it doesn't put more work on your shoulders, but rather more automated. But yeah, you get all the upside benefit of like 100% of your profits. So, as the business grew, or as the company grew, we added, print lab partners, we added automation to that kind of stuff, just to help, again, take that workload off of individual solopreneurs, and let us kind of handle that stress-free. So
I love it.
So it's the print and product side of things, but really our first problem that we aimed to solve right out of the gate was image delivery. And what we have transformed it to be, and we lovingly call it grandma proof downloading. Because we love grandma, but if your gallery provider requires your client to go through 8 or 10 or 12 different hoops just to download what you want them to have, your clients might get there. There might be a few like tech support related emails that swap back and forth, but grandma for sure is going to get lost at like step 2 or step 3. So what we aim to do is allow photographers to still create that beautiful experience, their brand, their logo and colors, their email template text, But within the first email that they send to their clients, not only can they give them a gallery to view and share and purchase from, but also an instant download button right in that first email as well to get what the photographer wants them to have, whatever size they want them to have it, however many times they want to let them download it, for however long they want to let them have access. All of that's controlled and customizable, but still dirt simple for the end client just to go, yep, click, and they can start downloading.
Yeah, no, that's really nice because I know I've gotten galleries from other software companies, and yeah, you get the email and it's like, oh, okay, download your images. Boop. Oh, okay, start the thing. We'll send you another email later. That like things get lost in my email really quickly, and then I also forget that I did that, and then I forget to check, and oh my gosh. So yeah, this is the one-click download is so very helpful. What are some of the things that CloudSpot does that maybe some of the competitors in the space don't? So some of the places where you guys shine.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, that download experience is one of them. No other gallery company out there lets you just say, hey, I want to send these 3 images or this whole folder of images or this whole collection of images to someone, just like that for instant download. So that's a biggie for sure. And I sat down and did the math when I was at the height of our photo business, and I calculated it saved me 2.5 weeks of my time every single year.
Wow.
Sharing images to clients and to vendors through CloudSpot versus the provider I was using at the time. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll buy back 2.5 weeks of my life. No problem with this, right? So if no one else uses this thing, it's at least paying for itself, well, kind of paying for itself, in over the next years. So that's a big one. Second of all, we have client mobile apps, so that's something that we released a few years ago. It's essentially just, an icon that can be on your client's device, right? That they tap on it. It's their face. It's the name that you give it. And it's essentially, a gallery, like a photo gallery style layout, but that's just at the touch of a button on their phone. And people go, well, the galleries work on your phone too, right? And they're like, yes, they do. If you want to go through and, access the link on your mobile browser. But we created the mobile apps for a different use case, and also to answer a very important question that we always got and that photographers always get, which is, hey, you just shot my wedding or you just shot this beautiful portrait session. I've got hundreds of photos. How do I get them on my phone, right? Do I need to download 20 gigs to my phone? And, let's be honest, who has 20 gigs free on their phone then or now for that matter?
Right.
But they still wanted to show everyone. So the mobile apps was our answer to how do I get all these images on my phone? But also how do we let the photographer be the hero in that experience and let them just have one tap to just click on it and show everyone that they meet. So that's not unique to us in the sense of a mobile app. What is unique to us, though, is that we don't have any limits on those mobile apps. So every other company out there limits you to X number of photos. They don't let you sell. They don't let people download. They don't let you see what images they favored or what they share. We completely remove all of those barriers. So there are no limits to images. You can sell, your clients can download pretty much all the settings that you have in our galleries, you can have in our mobile apps. And so that's just kind of allowed the creatives' brains to go wild. And we've heard all types of amazing use cases in terms of how people have leveraged that, like same day sneak peeks. While the couple's at the head table eating their dinner, the photographer is going in, editing 15 of their sneak peeks and creating a mobile app and literally texting it to the couple at the head table while they're eating dinner. And the groom's head pops up and he stands up and he looks at the photographer and thumbs up and so way cool ways, things that we never thought of that photographers are using these things for just to help their business and their brand stand apart. So that's definitely another thing that people use quite often.
Yeah, those are awesome. Such a great way to, as a portrait photographer, to give to your clients of the images they ordered that they're right there on your phone. They can share them easily to social media. They can share to other people. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of those. And I don't even tell people that I'm getting them. I use them as just a experience surprise that, elevates the experience that they have. And they're always just like, this is the coolest thing. Question for those is, how do you guys have your pricing set up versus, you have the mobile app, and you give it to your client, and how long does that mobile app live? Do you just keep that gallery in your galleries? How is that pricing set up in that? Because some companies are set up that you can have like 3 active galleries or, 100 active images or whatever. So how's that all work?
Yeah. And everyone kind of goes about it a different way. So for us, it's based off of storage, not number of photos. Because number of photos, especially these days, can be pretty arbitrary, right, in terms of size. So we try and keep it a little bit more simple. So you can create an account with CloudSpot for free, and you get up to 10 gigs of storage to play around. And there's some limited features there, but for the most part, you get to experience everything. And then our first paid plan gets you 100 gigs, and then it goes up to 350 gigs, and then we have an unlimited plan. So
nice.
Really a plan to fit each creative in their journey and in their business with plenty of space to grow before it actually incurs additional cost.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome. All right, there's something straight out of like the Jetsons that you just released or you're getting ready to release. By the time this podcast comes out, because it'll be in about a month, you will have released it, I think. Tell us about that latest thing.
Yes, absolutely. So, and this is what's coming as a part of our store experience, to help you sell more prints and products and help your clients really buy with more confidence. And something that a category that has just exploded over the last few years. And, thank you, COVID, because we were all stuck at home staring at our empty walls and saying like, we really should do something about that. Wall art has just exploded. We hear from our print partner labs that like, we're talking 200, 300, 400% growth in large format prints and canvases. And that's not just 1 year, like when we were all in lockdown and like people were looking for a home project, right? We're talking year over year type of growth. And it's here to stay. That's the long and short of it. And so we know that when you're buying online, trying to gauge the size of something, especially a piece of art, like a 20 by 30 canvas, or what's the difference between that and a 30 by 40, it's very tough unless, someone busts out the old measuring tape and stuff, but it's still very difficult to visualize. So what we have coming is really a technology that people are getting more and more familiar with because they've shopped on the places like Amazon and like Apple. But for creatives, for small businesses, for photographers, this technology hasn't been available to them. And so we're really excited just to bring it about and see what they do with it. But enough teasing. In our store, we are going to be introducing augmented reality previews such that before clients buy, they can view exactly the photo they want at the size canvas that they want directly on their wall. So they literally point their phone at the wall. The augmented reality preview will pop right against the space that they're looking to occupy. And with their device, they can just walk all around that thing. They can see the weave of the canvas. They can see the staple on the back of the canvas if they want to. But it allows them just to say, hey, look, is this the right product for this space? And usually, oftentimes than not, like they think a 20 by 30 will fit, but really they need the 30 by 40. And so it's a great, just kind of done with you process of upselling them to better and more impactful wall art.
I love that. If any of you guys out there have used Google Translate, they have the same augmented reality thing where you can download it. And like this worked out really well when I was in France a couple years ago. It's the first time I saw it and we were parking. And I took like 2 semesters of high school French and like, I don't know, many, many moons ago. And I'm reading it. I'm like, I have no idea what that says. Am I allowed to park here or not? So I like whipped out my phone, put it up to the sign, and it was like, all of a sudden it like becomes English on my phone. I'm like, this is amazing. So that's essentially what we have created or you guys have created for our clients to use, which is just the coolest thing. And I'm thinking of it as a way because all of my listeners out there know that I'm a big fan of in-person sales and selling wall art. And can't wait to play with this as a pre-consultation type tool in which I'm going to create a little like sample gallery of some sample images, like a landscape one or maybe a portrait, and like just some different ones that people usually choose for wall art. And then I can have them like, hey, go around your house, hold this up, and just like take a screenshot, send it to me of things that you think might be good. And they can then start seeing that and envisioning that before we even get to the sales session, which, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Exactly. I love that idea. Yeah. I mean, we'll be leveraging QR codes in the gallery. So if your client's on a desktop computer, but they still want to see that AR preview, we
Mm-hmm.
just pop up a QR code on the screen and then they point their phone at it. And then that takes over. So you can generate those QR codes. You can put them in your pricing and product guides and just let your clients literally do that and upsell themselves even,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah, we actually just got a new car and they have that in the manual. There's a little QR code that will take you to their YouTube channel that shows you how to use that feature. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Things have
Love it.
changed since my car was an '08. So it was, I don't even have a backup camera. It's straight up ancient, old school. But anyway, yeah, that's super exciting. I can't wait to use that. I do want to mention to you guys too out there some other ways that I love to use CloudSpot because, like I said, I do mainly in-person sales or Zoom sales, like live sales, I like to call it. So I'm not usually creating a gallery for people to buy from. But that's how I deliver my high-res files. So if somebody adds on or purchases high-res files, they get delivered in my CloudSpot gallery. I still have that hooked up to a store so they can order additional prints. And I think I mostly just have prints in there and the cards is the new awesome one in there. And they're not marked up hardly at all because I made my money. Like I'm not looking to make money on the store. I'm looking at it as a client experience where I can say, hey, you want to order some prints for the office or for your mom or whoever, like order through here. It's through a professional lab. Prices are super competitive, but the quality is way better than you're going to get from Costco. I don't have to do anything. It goes to them. They're super happy. And then I can have different price lists too. So if there is a situation where, all right, maybe it's not a client that's already purchased their files. Maybe it's an event or something where somebody needs to purchase files. I can have a whole different price list for that, different products, all the different things, which is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I love it. And then the other thing that I absolutely love using it for is during my pre-consultation piece, I created basically my location guide with a gallery. So inside your gallery, you can create all these different folders. So I have like Charlotte locations, and then I have location A, location B, location C, and I probably have like 6 or 7 locations in there with sample images from each location that I can send that to my client and be like, hey, as we're discussing where we want to hold our session, they can look through and I say, here's some of my favorite places to shoot, which is so much easier than a PDF or trying to explain because I love to shoot by the city or like in more urban things, but even there I can still create some beautiful nature looking images, which is really hard to explain to a client. So being able to share that with them easily is a game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our what we call our portfolio pages are essentially what you can do. You can elect to have any gallery publicly visible, and then you can categorize them, and then you can send just a link to that category for prospective clients to see, all the different locations or whatever it might be. Oh yeah, I've used that a ton of times. I love it. I do it for vendors and venues as well. It's just been a great marketing tool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, before we wrap up, I have to, I'm pretty excited for the augmented reality. I'm not going to lie, but I'm really excited for this next piece that is coming out soon too. So can we spill the beans?
We can absolutely spill the beans.
Yes.
And the beans have already been spilt everywhere over the summit.
You guys are pretty special because the very first people in the whole entire world to publicly know about this feature were our Hair of the Dog Summit peeps. So we're special.
Oh, absolutely. Unquestionably. But yes, for everyone else who didn't have the privilege of being able to be at that summit and attend virtually, I am more than happy to say the next step of CloudSpot's evolution. And again, the heartbeat of it has not changed from even years and years ago when it was just us starting from scratch. And that is to help as many photographers as we possibly can. And like we always say, we promise to always listen, and that's never stopped. And so what we've been hearing from our photographers, from our creatives, is that running a business is tough. And go figure, right? Newsflash. But as more and more photographers are coming into the market, it's just becoming more and more apparent that there's lots of options out there on how to do it, but what's the most effective way? These are all fairly expensive solutions first and foremost. So what's the right time, right action for what I need to get done in my business right now? And I just would love my client experience to be as streamlined as humanly possible. So I don't have to, expend all that mental energy on tool A and tool B and tool C and pay for subscription A and C and like whatever it might be. So I'm really excited to say that in the upcoming months, we're going to be teasing and showing more of what we are calling CloudSpot Studio. And CloudSpot Studio is going to be CloudSpot's step into the all-in-one space for professional photographers, from contracts to invoices to questionnaires to project management to client portals and tying in your galleries and mobile apps with your client's portal and giving your client one spot to see everything that they need to get done with you, shoots, outstanding invoices, just streamlining that whole process is now going to be under one roof, and we could not be more excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. That is so great. Yeah, like I said, I used to use Dipsado, which they're fantastic, but I used Monday.com to manage all of my hair of the dog stuff. And I was like, why am I paying for this over here when I can just use that? But since I'm already using CloudSpot, to have all of my photography stuff in one spot instead of like over Monday and that and this, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So excited. It's going to be so good.
We are too. It's the type of deal where it's a big undertaking, right? And very, very blessed to have an amazing team who is down for this ride just as much as I am. But it's just been so clear for more than a couple of years now of just photographers want an all-in-one solution that's pretty, that doesn't cost them an arm and a leg, and something that we want to give them, which we will. They haven't been asking for it because they didn't know it was an option, but we want to give them lower fees as well when they are processing those invoices so that they get more money back into their pocket to fuel their passion. Lenses aren't cheap. Running a business isn't cheap. So if there's any way that we can save photographers money or make them money at every turn, we're absolutely going to do it with CloudSpot Studio.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead to hairofthedogacademy.com/CloudSpot. And that will send you over to CloudSpot, and you can save 50% off either a monthly or annual plan or sign up for free. Check it out. And then what happens if they sign up for free and want to upgrade later and get that discount? I forget, you mentioned at the summit. Do they contact you guys or will it carry over?
They don't even need to. If they create an account through your link, when they go to upgrade, no matter when that is, they'll see your discount automatically.
Oh, perfect. Excellent.
And the yearly plan is actually more than 50% off because we bake in 20% off automatically. So that's more like 70% off if they opt for a yearly plan. It's the best deal in town, thanks to you.
That's fantastic. So you guys definitely go check it out. And like Gavin said, you can sign up for free, test around in there. They have a lot of features available in the free one. And gosh, all these new things coming down. And then when you realize that you love it and you can't live without it, go ahead and upgrade and you'll still get that 50% off. hairofthedogacademy.com/CloudSpot. Just one word, CloudSpot. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting, Gavin.
We're really excited, and also for your listeners, we'd love if they are a recovering user from another gallery provider, we are happy to help them make the switch and offer free migration.
Oh, perfect.
We have a free migration service. It's not glamorous work, but our team does it lovingly because we just know how difficult it is to get unstuck from something, even if it's not the right fit for your business. It's just who's got the time, right? So our team is more than happy to help make that possible so that it's the least of your worries and get you unstuck real fast. So.
Oh, perfect. So good. So good. Is there any last words of encouragement you want to leave to photographers out there that maybe you're like where you were 10, 12 years ago, where, many of us find ourselves earlier in their career and just going back and forth between the, oh my God, this is amazing, to the, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yep. There are a few things that I clung to then, things that I have Post-it notes on my desk now that I wish I knew then. But first and foremost, it's not always as easy as it seems. And if it is, you're an outlier, not a liar, an outlier. And that's great and celebrate it, but always be challenging yourself in case if you're not feeling challenged. But if it were easy, everyone would be doing it, right? Mm-hmm. First and foremost, it's going to be a struggle. What you don't see from all of the people who you think are just crushing it and killing it is the years of pain and sacrifice that they've put in to be an overnight success, right? A 10-year
Right.
overnight success, right? And just realize that what you see is different than the journey, right? Everyone goes through this journey. You will have 3 steps forward, 2 back, right? But keep on going. So, a phrase that I've clung to and that I've reiterated with our team often is, you can't lose if you don't quit. And that is, in addition to showing up every day, that's proof positive. Like, look, I'm not quitting. I'm showing up. I'm here. How do I make this better? And if you come at it every single day with that mindset, then you're not going to lose. The path may change, right? And that's okay. That's how it should be. But don't feel like you have to have it all figured out right here, right now. You'll get there.
Yeah. Because none of us have it all figured out. Somebody asked me the other day, she's a pet photographer, but adding on another venture. She was like, how often in the beginning did you tell yourself that you weren't cut out for this? I'm like, in the beginning, I told myself that yesterday. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, sorry. Still happens. Then, we all kind of chose to have this entrepreneurial journey, which is professional development on steroids. I mean, whether you want to or not, there's going to be inner work that you need to do. And you're going to come face to face with your own limiting beliefs and your own just BS that's going on in your head. And you either let it win and say, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe I'm not cut out for it. Which if you have the goal and the desire to do it, then you have the ability to do it. I firmly believe you just have to keep going. So to echo what you said, just keep on going.
100%. And something that I wish I was more mindful of in my photography business and even in growing and developing CloudSpot was, value your time, right? How many times do we as small business owners be like, oh yeah, I'll do this or I'll do that, or I'll spend hours doing this, creating a website, when I'm not a website designer, I'm not a website developer, but why am I in there banging away on code or trying to do things, right? That's going to take way longer and be way lower quality, or even just way longer, right? When you can be out there finding, building relationships, doing the things that you love to do. So I would encourage everyone to, no matter what stage you're at, be looking for ways to buy back your time to help but help optimize your path towards getting to where you want to go. I used to do our taxes, right? Why in the world was I doing our taxes as a photo business, right? Outsourcing that to a CPA was one of the biggest ways that I bought back my time in the early years, right?
And probably made more money because you probably paid less in taxes because they knew 100%. Loopholes that you didn't.
100%. I had no business trying to figure out California tax code. Good gracious, right? So, so just things like that. But for some of us, we just have these beliefs, right? These limiting beliefs of I'm a small business, so I should be doing this, and this. I should be building my website. I should be managing this or that and doing all of it, right? You can't do all of it. So look for ways that you can stay in your sweet spot of what you know that you're good at, right? Challenge your beliefs in terms of what you think you should be doing, and focus on your clients and focus on what you feel that you can do to have the most ROI for your business at that given time. So
I love that. Yeah, that is our words to live by for sure. Oh my gosh. This was such a good conversation. So much more than just how awesome CloudSpot was, which it is. So you guys go check it out. hairofthedogacademy.com/CloudSpot. Go sign up for at least the free account, 50% off your first month or annual, which then you save another 20. So definitely do the annual because you're going to love it. But, anyway, if you guys have any questions for Gavin or the CloudSpot team, you can reach out to them. What is the website that they can find CloudSpot or reach out to you guys if need be?
Absolutely. We are known for our support team. There's a little chat bubble in the lower right-hand corner of our website. So if you just go to cloudspot.io, send us a question. We'd love to chat. We'd love to give you a one-on-one demo. As we say, there are a lot of great companies out there, but it's just a matter of finding the one that's the right fit for you, for your business, for your workflow, and for your client experience. So however we can help with that, we're here for you.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for being here with us, Gavin. We will see you soon. And I cannot wait to get into CloudSpot Studio.
Thanks, Nicole. Talk with you soon. I can't either.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. See you guys next week.